Hey guys, I'm here, and today I'm going to be analyzing a gem from Funkomatic, sent to me on Reddit. So, Funkomatic is a random player who's in Platinum, but he feels like he's a Gold player, so I am going to be checking him out. So, this is probably going to be a higher level game than my previous analyses, I guess. Funkomatic is going to be spawning Terran. He is a random player, so yeah, he should be familiar with Terran, but not like intimately familiar with Terran. And his opponent is going to be Zerg, and I'm going to assume that he knows his opponent is Zerg. So, first off, this matchup in general, Terran versus Zerg, very, very favorable for the Terran once it gets to late game. It's extremely hard for Zerg to really deal with that mech, and I do know that Funkomatic is going to go mech. I did watch this replay twice. It is pretty long, but the first time I was just trying out some new techniques with my audio, so I'm not sure if that counts or not. Standard opening here so far. So he's actually going to plant down this barracks over here and then try and wall off here. Might as well put down the first supply depot over here as well. Yeah, that's probably all I have to say. And he's chasing that drone way too far. Okay, there we go. And now he's going to scout with that SCV. That's good. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because it is a long game, 45 minutes just about. And even on faster, it's like a little more than half an hour. I think it's like 34 minutes. I might just be making up that number. Gonna get that gas at a pretty normal timing. And that first marine out, okay. And yeah, this is where he should be starting as well pretty soon. Anytime now. There we go. And he did get this orbital command before, of course. So now he's finally gonna get that SCV scout in. This is a good idea. I mean, so scouting is a problem that a lot of the other players I've done analysis for have had. So scouting, very big, very important. And this is just as important, denying the scout. Creating this wall, making sure that the Zerg has an extremely difficult time scouting. So, I mean, I absolutely hate this when I'm playing Zerg, when I'm playing any race, and I go up against Terran, and then, oh, there's a wall up here, so it means that I'm not going to be able to scout for like 10 minutes. So, it looks like that SCV did get killed off, I assume. Not a big loss. Funkomatic, I believe he canceled that first tech lab so he'd have gas for this factory. Now he's going to put up that tech up again. So, if you're going for this factory build, you probably want to get an armory down pretty quickly. I mean, once you've grabbed your expansion, so you can start working on those upgrades, because they do take a while, and you do want the ones for air as well to help out your Vikings. Alright, gonna switch out that factory with the barracks. This is good. Definitely gonna help out a little bit, not too much, but it will help a little bit. He should be going for siege mode first. He's actually gonna put down the starport. Okay, there we go. Siege mode is on the way. The starport on the way. And putting a reactor on this barracks. Yeah, he's going to switch this out with the starport as well. So this is also going to be a good idea. So Vikings are a lot cheaper scouts than that scan, unless you're tight on gas, which he's not. He's doing fine right now. Take a look at that income. Yeah, pretty solid. A little bit lower in work count. That's very understandable against a Zerg player who actually hasn't expanded yet. That's really strange. And now getting that lair. Back to production. Yep, there we go. This is going to let him pump out Vikings, and yeah, Vikings are going to be the main focus over here. That first tank coming out just about now as well. Okay. So now, tank positioning is one thing he specifically requested. So, you have this wall, you have this high ground. You don't want it to be too far forward, but you want it to be pretty far forward, so it has the most coverage, the best coverage you have. So, right here, if he seized up right now, not the greatest where this marine was, maybe a little bit more south if you're worried about roaches coming in and trying to snipe your tank, or even hydras at this point, are would be understandable. But a little bit south of this marine would be good. Yeah, and a little bit, west of this marine, so like right here, maybe even a little bit more to this edge. Yeah, but see here, you're not covering that much. There's very few cases where there's actually going to be units here when your opponent is spawning close positions on Metalopolis, and this covers the ramp, and that's about it. So if he had been more forward over here, maybe even below the supply depot, I mean, this is only if he's worried, of course. An Overlord can float in, and he's going to have, it'll take a while to kill it off, so he will take some damage on that tank if, his opponent is going for a tank snipe. So he should be a little bit more forward. Actually, I guess this would be a bit more forward, so that he could have better coverage of the area, better sight over this. But as it is here, not the best, because yeah, they're covering the ramp very, very well, and actually isn't going to matter too much, but they're covering the ramp really, really well, but that's about it. They'd still have ramp coverage if they were down here. These roaches, going for the burrowed moving roaches, yeah, I just don't see that too often. Okay, and these Vikings, he should be a little bit more proactive with them, so I talk about this pretty often. Using these guys to scout around, using these guys to maybe even get some harassment done. Mostly scouting, but, if your opponent is Zerg, they have those overlords that they kind of absolutely need to have, so sniping a few of those, most importantly, wastes larva, and will, screw with their macro a little bit. And of course, that is just money that they can use on troops. This is, again, pretty unnecessary. I mean, even if he did reveal the rest of the roaches, if he retreated, there's not going to be too many, and that's, yeah, that just seems like a waste to me. Alright, the second factory is down, also with the tech lab. Not getting the Infernal Pre-Igniter for those Hellions. He does have 2 on the way. And, okay, looks like he is getting ready to expand. Going to smartly change it to an orbital command up here, so it won't have to do it when it's down there. I think if he's going to do this dual factory build, he wants to get it up in armory. So all of his units, well, the majority of his units will be a bit stronger. And if he's going for this Hellion build, well, this Hellion, I guess, harassment, they're also being used as scouts, that Infernal Pre-Igniter can't really hurt. I mean, if he's going to just keep up production with those Hellions, he's not using gas, so that gas will be building up for a little bit. He's very well saturated over here. Wow. Oversaturated here. So, in general, the most you want is 1 page of SCVs, 1 full page of SCVs. Any more than that, and you should stop making SCVs, unless you're planning to transfer, which he might be doing. He hasn't lifted this off yet. He doesn't really have control over this. If these tanks were more forward, again, they would have better control, not full control, but he could plant down maybe a bunker over here, put some of his buildings that aren't in use, like this barracks, bring that out there to help block. I think he actually does build a bunker over there later on. These Hellions are doing some nice scouting. They will, okay, looks like he does know about this base. Looks like he didn't get too many kills. I think they did, but this isn't really a commentary, this is more of an analysis, so, I'm not really going to focus on that. Yeah, getting 1 kill, and that's about it. This burrowed roach just out of reach to block that orbital command. Alright, so he should be moving these tanks more forward now, because now he actually has something to really defend. This ramp is a lot less important now, because he needs to defend his natural. And he really does want to make this natural. He knows that his opponent is on 2 bases, so if he can keep up in bases, he'll be economically in a great position. Because Terran on 2 bases is a lot more dangerous than Zerg on 2 bases. Terranian's just generally more efficient. There we go, that SCV transfer now. Yeah, that's looking a lot more normal. Still not very well saturated. Another 4 SCVs will make it pretty well saturated. Idle SCVs. And using that energy, needs to be using the energy out of both of those orbital commands. Well, these hotkeys are okay. I don't know why he has all these hotkeyed. Oh, he had them pre-hotkeyed for transfer, I guess. In general, I'd like to group my orbital commands together. Well, all my main base, I don't know, the Nexus, the hatcheries, and the command centers / orbital commands / planetary fortresses in one group. And this energy is building up pretty quickly, so that might be a result of that. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you have them grouped in the same control group, then they will be able to, well, you will be reminded that one of them has high energy or something like that. Yeah, bunker going down here. I would have preferred it out here, just a little bit more south, so that gives some coverage to this ramp. That gives, oh, okay, gonna build a CC here, and he could have built it one square to the left, or to the right, so we cut off that ramp. Make it a much more solid block. I'm not sure if he's gonna be, I think he's gonna try and expand with this. That roach's gonna move and die. And it looks like no friendly fire kills. One has to be pretty close. And still keeping up production with those SCVs, that's fine. Later on, he actually goes way overboard on the SCVs, has 100 of them, and you don't want that ever to be happening, unless it's a crazy, well, no, I think on like BGH you could have like 100 SCVs and then like 30 factories. Let's see, we've got 10 Vikings coming out here, just gonna do some scouting, sure. I mean, I think it'd be nice if you scan them in once in a while. I'm just judging by that energy, I'm going to assume he hasn't. He's at a very solid defensive position over here. These tanks in a much better position. They could be a little bit closer to this this bunker. That's just really nitpicky. They're fine right here. Yeah, this is good. This turret placement pretty good as well. I guess he's this would actually be terrible turret placement for mutas. Well, there's no real good turret placement against broodlords, but this is great because he's worried about those burrowing roaches. So sure, just build a turret out here. So give your tanks some coverage, some detection to work with. Those Vikings still a little bit idle. I would like to see them just flying around the base, seeing at least what tech is up, stuff like that. This macro is something that he needs to work on. So he has this extra base. He has a lot of production facilities. He has plenty of SCVs, so he shouldn't be supply blocked if he pays attention. And I mean, right now he can almost afford to get like to 150. Yeah, he probably could afford to get to 150 right now. Getting a few more units out there. Okay. Strange rally point. Going for these Marines, so I think he actually, yeah, he has 3 barracks here. I forgot to catch that the first time. So going these 3 Raxes, I really don't like this. So look at the majority of his army. He had tanks here, he had, yeah, the tanks in here, the Vikings, a lot of Vikings overhead. So that's all fine. Tanks and Vikings have probably one of the closest synergies, one of the best synergies in the game. View Corruptor's gonna move in here, not gonna do too much.